All right, class, this video is going to be for the sites plan. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to use this sheet now for the floor plan and the dimensions. We used 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. For the site plans, is we're going to shrink down the house because we're seeing more of on this plan. We see more. We not only just see the house. Now we're seeing the house dimensions and the actual property where we're going to have this house. So for that reason, our scale has to be we have to scale it down so that more of the plan fits on our sheet. All right, so we have been doing 1/4 equals a foot for our floor plan, and what we did for the dimensions, we just traced the dimensions on top. For the site plan, we're gonna have to use 1/8 equals a foot, and then we're gonna have to redraw just the edge or the outline of the house, which I don't have it with me right now, but you should know where to place your house, and I'll walk you through it. So the first thing we need to do is define where our property is located. Okay, now I'm gonna show you an actual lot that exists. It's in Westlaco, and so we're gonna use that lot for this project. It gives you the distance on the front, and also the depth of the lot, and also the legal description. So I'm going to be showing that. You'll see in that right now. The size of the lot, it's 64 by 95. Okay, so it's 64 by 95. So that's the first thing we need to draw on our plan, so we know exactly where our lot is located, or we need to draw where our lot is. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, and again we're going to do it with an 1/8 so we can draw the whole site plan on a B-size sheet, which is 11 by 17. So we'll start, and I'm just gonna again try to do it as straight as you can. As a matter of fact, let me put some tape here just so this sheet doesn't move. All right, there you go. All right, so, and I'm just gonna, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just as close as you can. So the length of the lot is 64 feet. So I'm gonna go with an 1/8, and I'm gonna draw a line, very light line, because we need to change the line type. That is 64 feet, and I'm gonna try to center it in my sheet. So in this case, 0 is here, 64 is right here. So I'm gonna just try to have it as straight as I can and leave the same space on the sides. And I'm gonna draw a very light line right here. Okay, so it's 64 feet. Now the depth of the lot, it's 95 feet. So now I'm gonna go, for this one, our scale only goes up to 92, actually 93. But just to make it easier, I'm gonna do a line that is 80, and then we'll do the 15. So there we go. So here's 80, all right? So this is 80 feet. So I'm gonna try to have it center, or not as straight as I can, using the edge of the sheet. It looks about right. So from here to 0, again very light, it's 80, and then I'm missing 15 feet. So I'm gonna put it at 15, which is right here. So the other 15, it's gonna be, this is 15 right here. So I'm gonna put it where I left off, and make sure it goes straight. And there it is. Same thing on this side. Just to 80. And I'm gonna be fast forwarding some of the steps. So if you see the video going faster or being edited, it'll be for that reason. So 80 plus 15 right here. All right, that's 95. And then what I'm gonna do, just close it up here, as such. Okay, so this is our property, 64 feet by 95 feet. Okay, now we have to define where the corners of our lot is, or our lot sit, or the actual the rods that they put in the subdivisions to know where the corners of the lots are. So we're gonna draw those with circles, like that, solid circles. Now they should be an eighth, but once we draw it on CAD, we'll do them to the right size. For now, just draw them like this. Okay, so we're defining now where our corners are. The bearings will go here. So this line, it's the distance of the line, and then the north, east, northwest, southwest, or southeast. But I don't have those right now, so we're just gonna put the distances. Okay, so what we're telling is that the lot is from goes through here, and this is the front dimension and how deep the lot is. Okay, and we're defining where the points are. So now we need to draw. It's the actual lines or property lines. Okay, those are gonna be they're gonna be phantom lines, and those are gonna be dark. Okay, the first thing you want to see on your site plan is where your lot is, and those lines have to be darker so they pop out at you. So those are gonna be we're gonna do a phantom line, which a phantom line or a border line or a property line, it's a long line, two short ones. Long line, two short ones. Long line, two short ones. Okay, so again, phantom line or property line is two short, one long. Two short, one long. Okay, so now we're gonna do it on this side, and also on. And actually, I'm only gonna do these, and you do the all four, so I want to speed it up a little bit. So long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, short. You know what? Let me do it just so we can see it. All right. So long, short, short, long, short, short, long, short, long. So what we're doing right now is defining where our property is. Okay, that's the first thing you want to know when you're drawing your site plan or you're reading your site plan. It's where is my lot. Before you even find the structure, you want to know how big is your lot and where exactly is it located. So now we have our property line. And again, those should be the darkest lines you have. From the property, what we need to know, it's the setbacks. Okay, this is going to vary depending on the city, depending on the ordinances. They're going to be different. We're going to do just the common ones. I think the most common ones are, I believe it's 7 feet from the sides, 10 from the back, and let's do 20, or let's do 20 from the front. Again, these are going to vary. For our purposes, we're going to do again 7 on the sides. So now we have to, now that we know the size of our property, now the setbacks, what do I need to respect so I don't put my structure in a piece of land that I shouldn't. All right, so the setbacks, again, those are going to be by the city or the county or whichever you're building. So 7 feet right here, 7 feet, just so I can do a straight line. There, 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 and then these lines are going to be hidden lines, so dashed lines. All right, so we're going to go hidden lines. And they can go above the property line, that's fine. Or beyond, I'm sorry, the property line. Like this, just hidden lines, dashed lines. And then we said we're gonna do 10 in the back. So 10 will be more or less 8, 9, 10 right here. 8 right here. Let's do the setback from the back, or the rear setback, hidden line. Then we're gonna put 20 in the front. lines. And now do our heading line. Like that, okay? So now we have our property. We have defined where the property is, and we have defined where the setbacks are. So that means that we can build our house anywhere in this area right here. Okay, we need to respect the 7 feet, we need to respect the 10 feet, we need to respect the 20 feet. Again, these are gonna vary. And then inside here, you can put the house wherever you want. It's up to you, according to your design. You wanna put it in the back, put it in the back. You wanna put it in the front, you wanna put it on the side. Doesn't matter, as long as it's inside here and you respect your setbacks. Okay, so here what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put the size. We're gonna put 64 feet, 64 feet, 95 feet, 95 feet. Again, this will be the bearings, but I don't have them. Okay, if I find them, I'll upload them on Blackboard. But this all, I don't know the exact bearings, but I know the size right there. Oops, feet. And then here we're gonna define what these lines mean. This is a 20-foot setback, 7 feet setback. Same thing here. So you have to label it. And the back is 10 feet. Okay, so now everything's defined. We have the size of the lot, we have our setbacks. Now here is where we can put a structure. I'm not gonna draw it because I don't have it with me, but you have to redraw the outline of the house, of your house, somewhere in this area. Again, you can put it you can even put it right on the line if you wanted to, just don't go beyond it. Or you can put it in the center, or you can put it on this side. Whichever works best, just keep in mind that you need a driveway, you need some sidewalks. So also think of, when you're designing, if it was for an actual project, think of if there's any trees here, think if there's any neighbors there that you might wanna give some space from. Just keep those things in mind so you can locate your house. Okay, so let's say, again, and the house, the structure of the house, or the footprint of the house, you have to draw it again. Okay, keeping in mind this is your front, your street is right here, so your front elevation is going to be facing that way. So keep that in mind, because you're going to have a driveway and sidewalk, which we're going to cover in a bit. But you're going to have to redraw the footprint of your house using the 1/8 scale. Now I don't have it with me, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna say that it looks something, if I remember correctly, it's something like, I don't know if it goes, I think it goes like this. I think there's a column here, if I remember correctly. Now again, I drew it just by hand, but you have to actually measure all these lines with the 1/8 scale, so it has to be to scale. Okay, so now that we have our house, we know where it's at. Okay, we're gonna put, well, before we do that, now we know where the property is, where our setbacks are, so we can respect, we have where our structure is. Now we need to dimension where our structure is gonna be in relation to the property, all right? Because we wanna know, okay, whoever's gonna work with a foundation, they have to bring in some soil or take away soil. So then you need to tell them where exactly you want it, so they can prepare that the soil for the foundation. So we need to dimension that. Always tie a dimension to your property, okay? Because the first thing they're gonna find for your property, mark it, put the setbacks, and then from there you start measuring. So what I'm gonna do, and actually I'm not gonna measure it, you have to measure it. You're gonna have to give me a dimension where your house is, not walls, just major breaks, so they know more or less where to put dirt, okay? So you're gonna have a dimension from there, okay? And then I'm gonna pull another one over here. And again, you should do this with your scale. I'm just trying to make it faster. So you can have a dimension there with a number, and then tie it back to the property, okay, with a number. So we're telling it from the property, go so much this way, that's where the house is gonna start, or the edge of the house, and then it's so much this point, actually we missed this one. And then it's so much this, so they can plan for that, and then from here tie it back to the dimension. So now we know where a house is in relation to this, to the front dimension. Now, where exactly is it in relation to the 95 feet? So we'll do the same thing. We can grab a dimension, okay, from here, much is it from there? Or you know what? Let's not grab it from the back. Well, in my case, I mean, you could, because I don't want to cross dimensions. I don't want to do that. Remember, I think I covered it on the last video. You don't want to cross dimensions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it from the front, and then, or I can do it on this side actually. So I'm going to grab a dimension from here. I have a dimension from here to here. And then from here to here. Now this, I'm being very technical. In reality, you just do the corners, but I'm being a little more technical in the video. So I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna go to this side here, and then I'm gonna record, and I'm gonna put the dimension right there. So now you have your dimensions. You know where your structure is in relation to your 64 feet, and where your structure is in relation to 95 feet. Okay, so you're gonna have to give me those dimensions, so put the dimensions so they know exactly where you want your property in relation to your house, I'm sorry, in relation to your property. Okay, and again, it's kind of messy, but you should do it straight. I'm just trying to not take too much time from the video. Okay, so make sure you dimension where they need to go. Okay, so dimension it, where is it located in relation to this, and where is it located in relation to the depth. Now that we have that, you might want to put this line just a little bit darker, so that just the footprint, okay, just to know exactly where our building is going to be at. Some hatch this. You could if you want to, or you can just leave it like that. It depends. It's up to you. It's a matter of preference. Okay. So now we know where the property is, the setbacks where they are to respect. We laid out our property or our building, and we dimensioned to know where exactly our building is going to be. Now we have to put information here. But before we do that, now let's focus on the street side or the street end. Let's go about 3 feet. I hope I have enough space. I should. From the property line, usually it's about 3 foot more or less. Again, depends on the subdivision, but I'm going to do 3 feet. Okay. And then here is where I'm going to put my sidewalk. In the subdivision, there's a sidewalk, so I'm going to put it right here. So this line that I'm drawing is my sidewalk. Okay. And then do it light because we're going to erase some stuff. The sidewalk itself, let's go ahead and do it 3 feet. Awesome. So 3 feet here, 3 feet here. Okay, so that's going to be my sidewalk. Okay. And now we have to, usually some subdivisions have like green area for grass, some have the curb and gutter right there and there, right then and there. We're going to put just the curb and gutter right on it. Okay. So the curb and gutter, and I'm showing you a picture of what that is. All right. And that's a curb and that's a gutter. Okay, so here, the curb, it's 6 inches, and here I'm getting very technical. 6 inches, and the gutter, it's a foot. Okay, so 6 and a foot. 6 inches for the curb, 12 for the gutter. Again, I'm getting very technical, but I want you to draw it so you know what it is. So I'm going to draw that line right there, and then line right there. Okay. Move this just in case you can't see it. So now in the street, I'm getting too close to the edge. The street, usually it will be somewhere over here because of the scale, but I should have drawn it a little bit further back. Maybe you want to do that. Draw the plan further back so you get more space in the front. Actually do that. Don't try to center it. Push it to the back because we need more information. And then here, I'm going to do a center line, which is a long line, small, long, small, long. And then put a CL like this. And then put the name of the street, which is, I think this one is Monica Drive. Okay, street, gutter, curve, and then we have our sidewalk. So here, this is a sidewalk, curve, how are we gonna get in? Now we have to put the driveway. Let's say, and I'm gonna move this note over here. Setback. Let's say our driveway is here, and I get draw it to scale. Okay, draw it to scale. So let's say we have a driveway that we're gonna have all the way like this. Okay, because we want to drive in and then go in with a car in there. So you have to draw it. Okay, make sure you draw it straight. Matter of fact, let me try to do it straight. Okay, let's say, I'm gonna say that my house has a garage right here. So I wanna drive in like that. So this line is gonna come all the way down to my curb. Okay? And it's gonna open up like this. Usually one is gonna get a little more curvature here. All right? And then we're gonna erase a line for the sidewalk and also the curb. Actually, the gutters does continue. This one does continue like that. Okay? So now the car's coming, the gutter, and by seeing the picture, you know what it is. That one, it continues because the water's gonna flow through there. But the curb, you do have to cut it. So it's gonna come in your car and go in like that. Okay? Now keep in mind also, in this case, I put the house way too far to the back. So I'm gonna have a long driveway. So you might wanna put it closer. That we have a shorter driveway and a bigger backyard. The way I put it right now, for the sample, I have a very small backyard and a lot of grass or property in the front, which, you know, there's no privacy. So I might want to pull it in a little more. So we have a driveway and then a sidewalk. If you have your entry door here, let's say I have it there, and then here, just get creative. I might not want to put a sidewalk. Oh, it's a dimension. A sidewalk all the way to the front. Maybe I just put it here. I drive my car in, I get off, and can go into the front door. Or if you want to do other design where you get the sidewalk all the way to your entry sidewalk to the sidewalk from the street, that's going to be up to you. Okay, but I would just put it there. All right, so now we have our sidewalk, driveway, curb and gutter, and here we can put a note with a leader, and we can put 6-inch curb, and another one here with a leader, 12-inch gutter. All right, and then driveway, and you can put here sidewalk too if you want to. Okay, so now again, property, we have it. Setbacks, we can respect that. We put our property, our house and the property where we want it according to the design. We have to dimension it, take into consideration the width and the depth of the property. So we have dimensions here, and we have dimensions tying to this, to the ends, and also to this the front and back of the property. And once you have that, we have to define where our house is, and then we have to put our sidewalk, curb and gutter, and our driveway of how we're gonna get in there. Last thing we're gonna put, and again, we're keeping it very simple. Last thing we're gonna put here, it's gonna be a note in the property here, saying where do we want the finished floor? Okay, the finished floor of the property. So when they pour the concrete where you stand on, which is a slab, how far up you want it. Okay, by default, here we can put proposed house or building, put house, and I'm gonna put FF for finished floor. Usually it's 18 to 24 inches. Where this lot is located, it floods. So I'm gonna put 24 inches above curb. Okay, so proposed house, finished floor, 12 inches above curb. What that means is that the height of the curb here, okay, where the height is on this curb, this finished floor has to be 2 feet above that. All right, so in case it rains, it's gonna take a while for the water to get in there. Okay, now if you wanna be on the safe side, then pull it out more. Again, it's gonna cost you more material, but depends on what area you are. All right, so now, again, just to review, site plan, property, setbacks, locate your house, keep in mind the design. In my case, I made a mistake. I should have put it closer to the front. That way I have a bigger yard in the back, but again, this is a sample. And then once you have it located wherever you want it, wherever you want it, now dimension, taking into account the width and the depth of the house, so they know exactly where it's located. Go ahead and do your sidewalk, 3 feet sidewalk, curb and gutter, curb is 6 inches, gutter 12 inches, and then your street, right, with the center line, and then your driveway, how you're gonna get into the house, put a driveway, wherever it's at. If you have a car garage, put it there. If you don't have a garage, because it was one of the, you had 2 options, just wherever you wanna put the driveway, it's up to you. If you want for it to come like this, and you park on the side of the house, it's up to you. You want to park on this side of the house, it's up to you. You want for it to come like this. If you want for it to come in like that, and then have the sidewalk there, it's up to you. You design it. It's your house. But keep in mind that you have to cut the sidewalk and cut the curb, and then have these 2 lines for the gutter, because the water has to flow through there. All right, there's gonna be a slope here when you drive up, and then you go in. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this. Again, 1/8 scale. You're gonna have to redraw with the sizes that I gave you, which is 64 by 95 on the property, and do that as a property line. Then your setbacks with hidden lines. Put your structure wherever it's gonna be at, dimension it, and I'll add the information. Okay, again, this is I don't want to see a sketch, because I don't want to see just a bunch of lines. Do it with a scale, do it with straight lines, and then scan this and submit it to on the assignment for chapter 2, which is site plans. And I'm going to put the due date on the assignment. Okay, so once again, we're going to start building the plans, and then we're going to draw them on the computer, so it's going to be nice and clean and precise. But I want you to follow the steps. Okay, and then read chapter 2, talks a little more on site plans, and I think on the lecture video I also discuss it a little bit further. All right, so good luck and have some fun.